So a lot of you guys may be wondering how good is Batter and should you spend your clues on him? And I'm here to tell you, he is pretty darn good at his job at protecting teammates. I mean, look at him, he's fierce. He goes as simple as stunning hunters after a rescue to even being as complex as to push the hunter across the map to help your teammates escape from the hunter. You guys are going to see right here the power of the bat. When you put it at full charge and you hit a hunter with it, we're going to help our prisoner escape. Just because I hit the hunter, look how far back they went. They went back like at least 15 meters backwards. And we didn't need the 4 escape, but hey, it's nice. Now, there is what I believe to be a coding error with Batter. I hope this is a coding error, because if that's a translation error, that means the devs don't know how to balance this game. But right there in the top left, you can see an icon. That is called Altruism. And it activates every time a survivor is hit within 18 meters of you, and you're not being pursued. But right there, you see that I just got it, even though I'm across the map, even though I'm not next to the survivor at all. That is way more than 18 meters. You guys can see, again, right here, I'm nowhere close to the survivor in this clip. And they get hit, or someone gets hit, and I still get the boost. I get a 50% speed boost every time someone gets hit for 10 seconds. And it's not fair. Look, I'm literally running laps across the map. I mean, it's crazy. So we're going to go into this more in depth. First, let's look at the cricket bat. The cricket bat starts with 3 cricket balls, and you could either use them to hit the hunter backwards or to stun them with it. If you hit them backwards with it and don't choose to stun, then you will actually save the cricket ball as long as the hunter doesn't destroy it. But if you choose to go into rampage mode, that's when you can stun the hunter. Now, it depends how far back you throw the hunter and how long you stun them. It depends on a couple of variables, but that's basically what the cricket bat does. He's also similar to forward. He can vault really fast. He can drop pouch really fast. And I wouldn't be surprised if that gets a change in the future, because you guys will see later how strong he is. And this is the perk that I was talking about earlier. Altruism. It's only supposed to activate when a survivor's attack within 18 meters of him, and as long as the batter's not being pursued. But you guys saw earlier, it got activated. Even though I wasn't next to survivor, it got activated. Even though I was outside that 18 meter range. And this is really unfair, because that means you as a survivor can just run across the map as soon as the survivor gets hit. And that is not fair for the hunter, because you can very easily transition and start helping your teammates. So that's something I expect to get changed in the future. But you guys saw right there, he does decode 20% slower. But I do expect that to get changed in the future, because that is not what the gameplay and the book do not cooperate. Anyway, here's the build I'm using for him. It's just a regular rescue build. You should be having tight turn and borrow time. You can use the points for whatever you want, the extra points, but I use it for pal boost because you are a harasser and you might need to protect yourself. So now I'm going to show you guys how far away, I should say, you can hit a hunter with the ball. And that is the maximum distance right there. Any farther and you cannot hit the hunter, the ball will stop at the hunter's feet. And this is without any charge. And you guys see the hunter is barely getting pushed back. This is like a toy at this point. But you guys will see. All I'm going to do is walk closer to the hunter and look how farther they got pushed back. Even though all I did was one tap the bat, you guys saw how far back they got pushed. So what if we charge the bat fully? Look at how far they get pushed back. Boom! They're out of here. They're going into space. This is really helpful for protecting your teammates. Now, that was at a distance, and that's going to be realistically what happens in a real match. But just for funs and giggles, look at how far they go if you go all the way in their face. Obviously, you won't do that in a real match. But hey, it's just fun to see. So now we're going to go over stunning. Now, basically, stunning has 2 variables that decide how long you stun the hunter. It's based off the power level of the bat and how close the hunter is to the wall when you hit them. The highest you can get the hunter to be stunned is for 4 seconds. You guys are going to see right here. Once again, I'm going to put the bat at max power, and the hunter's right next to the wall, so they're going to get stunned for 4 seconds. Now, if you put the bat at the lowest setting, it's only going to stun for 2 seconds. If you put it at the medium setting, it'll stun for 3 seconds. It's roughly amount that time, but that's still really good value. Now, what happens when the hunter isn't directly next to the wall? How much is the stun effect? So we're going to bring the hunter closer, and we're going to try to stun him again. And we're going to put it at the max power, and it's actually not going to stun for 4 seconds. It's only going to stun for 2 seconds because they weren't next to the wall, because some of that time got wasted being pushed back. So it's very important you guys know that. There are some bonus things about the cricket balls. For example, it can go over some terrain. It can go over certain low terrain. So it's very helpful as a batter if you know where you can do this, so you're protected behind walls. But it can also go above pallets and windows, even if you're not sure about which walls it can go above. And this automatically makes him very versatile over forward and wilding, because you don't need an open area, or you don't need having walls in the way won't necessarily stop you, I should say. It's very important you know this because it'll help you greatly. You guys see right here, it's going right over the wall. And now I do have to say though, you must be careful of no recovery hits because batter can give no recovery hits. You guys are going to see, I just gave the hunter no recovery and now I screwed it up. I paid the price and I'm going to die immediately. You should also know that even though altruism doesn't work in one way, it still won't activate if you're not being pursued. So it's very strange. This is what's called a logic error in coding, but basically it's clear that some of the code works, but the other half is just not cooperating. It knows when you're being pursued, but not when you're in 18 meters. However, like I said earlier, it will ignore the 18 meter limit. So you guys see right here, I just got the boost, even though I wasn't close to the perfumer. That wasn't, you could argue it was like if I was close, but you can see right here, I wasn't close to the perfumer, and look at the boost I got. Now, it's not going to be enough to help save the perfumer, but look how close I got to the hunter. I'm basically running laps at this point. And you guys see right here, once again, Siri got hit across the map. I get a free boost. It's not fair. I could have used it to help out the Seer, but it's more important to decode. Now you guys see right here, the kiting power of this ball. Look at how far back the hunter gets pushed back. That's a level 1. I didn't charge that at all. They got pushed back so far back, and I can easily reach that window as a result. Now here's a more long-term kite. You guys can see this is just me in an actual match doing the kite as it appears in a real match. So I'm actually going to save my items at first because this is just me relying on that 20% increased vault speed and 20 increased pallet speed. You guys can see how I use these pallets and where I go. I heard the hunter has fast pallet breaking right here, so I didn't transition very far. Avoid that tentacle. I'm still not using the bat. Hide behind the pallet right here so I don't get hit. I would have gotten hit right there. You guys need to watch my kiting video if you don't know about that, but you should always hide behind pallets so you don't get hit. But you see, this is just me relying on the increased vault speed. I'm just abusing it. I don't even need the balls for now because I'm just going to keep looping these windows. I can't loop Feaster forever because he's going to eventually put tentacles all over this place. So eventually I have to transition, but this is very helpful. I'm just constantly using one area. Now, when I do finally get close to another good area, like you see right here, I'm not in a great area and I don't want to use this because I know the tentacle, it will just appear and it'll hit me. So I want to transition to a different area, and this is where I'm going to plan where I'm going to use the ball. I'm going to use it on my way to the corner, and I'm going to actually screw up right here. You guys will see that you need to be careful how you shoot the ball because I just shot the hunter at almost max power and they got no distance, and that's because they hit a tree. It will automatically stop them. Now granted, I still got away with it, but against a real hunter, you won't be able to get away with that kind of garbage. You have to be able to know that you have to be careful with the bat basically, because if you throw the hunter into a wall, they'll automatically stop getting pushed back. Here's a better example, because earlier the hunter got pushed back on a wall. Right here, there's no wall stopping this hunter. They are gonna get pushed back a mile away, and as a result, I'm gonna be able to get dungeon right here. Very clutch cricket ball. That was my last one as well. And on the rescues, he is very good. That was kiting, but on the rescues, he is amazing. Because you can, on a chair rescue, you can hit the hunter with a stun ball. That was only halfway. I will charge as long as possible. That was 3-second stun, and as a result, our prisoner is going to be able to last longer. You don't have to stun it. Right here, the hunter is going to hit the chair, and all I'm going to do is, I'm just going to push them back. And that's still really good value, because I'm right next to the hunter. I'm going to get a lot of distance, because I'm practically hugging the hunter. You guys saw earlier that it is based off of how close you are to the hunter, if we're talking about pushback. But how good is it if you're not trying to protect teammates off of chairs? This is a perfect example. I'm going to show you guys how amazing the batter is at not just protecting teammates on the chair, but also in pursuit. So you guys right here, the cowboy used all his resources. He got a lucky lasso there, but he still needs help. So I'm going to support him. And this Wooching is going to get knocked back a ton of miles backwards. And this cowboy is back at the pallets. He's no problem. He was going to get hit earlier, but now he's safe. But the thing is, he's not quite safe yet. So he's going to come back to me. And I'm going to switch to the hunter's perspective right here. And you guys will see just how far back the hunter gets hit. It's ridiculous. The amount of support this guy gives is really insane, and that's why he is so fun to play. Now, here's another clip. Right here, the perfumer's kiting near me, and you guys will see on the left that the perfumer dropped down from the house. And the sculptor is actually going to go next to me because she is scared about this portal. Now, it is a sculptor, so she can block my balls with a statue. So knowing this, I took this wall to my advantage to surprise the sculptor, so she doesn't put a statue in the way between me and her. And this caused the perfumer to get away and get healed as a result. But eventually, perfumer did get found again, and I'm going to support her again. Look at how insane it is. And after that, the hunter actually started chasing me, so it's really strong. Now, how good does it do on rescuing from balloons if the teammate is already knocked down? You guys will see. I'm going to use the tip from earlier. I'm going to hit through the window. You would not be able to do that with forward. Now, here's another example. Right now I'm saving my balls, but in certain scenarios, I should be using it to stun the hunter. So that is a mistake I'm doing in some of these clips. But you guys will see that I'm still able to help my teammates just with throwing the hunter backwards. Right there, I actually picked up my ball because I had the Altruism perk. So I'm faster than the hunter. Really nice. Now, it is weaker against Clown, but you guys get the picture here. It's really good in narrow spaces where you can push the hunter really far back. It's just that Clown is a little bit weaker because he can actually knock down teammates before you get back off of cooldown. But really, the biggest thing here is to remember that you don't want to be next to walls against batter, because then the batter can't help a lot. You see, I freed the cowboy, but he immediately just got knocked back. So if the hunter is next to a wall, you should be activating your stun. That was a mistake I made. So here I'm going to learn from my mistake, because I see the perfumer's hugging a wall again. So I'm going to go threaten the hunter. You guys see what a nice job that I'm just doing, just wasting the hunter's time. He's very strong at defending himself as well. Harassing, defending. I'm going to get a really nice stun right there, but it didn't matter. I could have pushed back the hunter or stunned him. But you cannot die in corners. If you die in corners, this is what will happen. The batter will not be able to rescue you because it's just too hard to protect you. So as a survivor, I have a tip for all you guys as survivor. If there's a batter on your team, try to die in open, but not too open spaces, just enough to be able for them to protect you. I hope you guys did learn something from this batter guide. There is a lot to take in, and there are some things that confuse me about him. Now, on the kites, he's really strong. You can use it to knock the hunter backwards, and you can use it to transition to new places, and it's really nice. It's almost like he might be one of my new mains, not gonna lie. He's a lot of fun to use. He's really good at helping teammates. He's really good at supporting them, and he's almost like a coordinator on the chair rescues. You do use the ball when you stun the hunter, but it doesn't really matter because that stun lasts so long. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something. And I do encourage you to buy batter. Even if he does get a nerf, I still think he's going to be a great survivor as long as they don't, just take away all his balls. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time.